Okay, so I'm going to create a series of tutorials on enhancing portraits. The first thing I would do when I look at a portrait is I look at the skin. And on her skin, and she's young and beautiful and doesn't have a lot of problems. There's really no wrinkles going on here. There's just a couple of little imperfections in here that I would like to clean up before I start doing anything else to her. And what I would do is I would, blow up the picture to at least 100% so I can get a good look at what's going on. And then I would use the spot healing brush tool. And I use it right on the default settings. I think those usually work pretty well. This creates the size of the brush. You can do it either up here, or what I like to do is use next to the letter P, there's these brackets, and I kind of like to use that as a shortcut. But all you do is just click over the thing that you don't want, and Photoshop will determine what pixels, what colors to come in and replace it with. It's really kind of that simple. In most cases, this really will work. Now, you could also use the clone stamp, but I actually think the spot healing brush in this kind of case works a little bit better. So that looks pretty good with her face. She's got this weird little mark here, which I can get rid of if I drag this. Maybe like that. Now, this kind of stuff is a personal choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with having freckles, but again, for the sake of the tutorial, I just want to show you how you would do this if you had a mole or a freckle in a place that you don't particularly like, and you want to get rid of it. And that's pretty much it. That's all you would do. That's like one of the simplest things we're going to do today. Now, the next thing I would do when I look at her, and I'd kind of do this for anybody, is I would look at dark circles under the eyes. Now, she doesn't even really seem to have dark circles under the eyes, but there is a little bit of discoloration, and we can clean it up a bit. And for that, I would use the clone stamp. Now, there are several different techniques, and for today, I'm going to show you this one, because it's kind of the easiest one to do, and we're going to do a lot of different things today. So I made the brush a little larger, and this is where I want to get to underneath here, and I'm going to use the clone stamp, and I'm going to take a sample from right under here where it's brighter. But here's the trick. Okay, the opacity, I've already lowered it to about 25%. Normally it's going to be at 100. You want to lower it 19, 20, somewhere 20%, something around there. And instead of having it on normal, you want to change it to lighten. And what that's going to do is it's really only going to hit the areas that are darker than your sample. So I'm going to hit the option button, which is going to give me this little bullseye. I'm going to take my sample from the bright spot in her cheek, and then I'm just going to kind of run it under her eye. And if I have to, I'll make another sample just to make sure that I'm getting it from the right spot. Now you see that little plus sign when I click, that's just showing me where I'm getting the sample from. Now with stuff like this, the reason why I put my opacity to 19 is that I just don't want, I'd rather build this slowly than make weird, strange marks. Let's try this side. This side's going to be a little tougher because this side is already in the shadow and I don't want it to look strange. And with portraits, one of the things I'll probably talk about a lot during these tutorials is how you have to be a little light-handed, I think, with this kind of stuff. I see often people being too heavy-handed and it ends up looking a little weird. So let's just go back to before I did the eyes. And you can see, let me back up so you can really see the difference. Right? It looks better, right? It looks better and it still looks natural. Let's go back again just so you get another look at what it looked like before and after. And actually, we could look at the whole thing before, even with, all the little things we changed. So it's kind of cleaned up. You could even really just stop right there and it looks much better, but we're not going to stop here. We're going to kind of go crazy. By the end of this tutorial, or by the end of this series of tutorials, we're not even going to make her look like her anymore. We're going to turn her into some crazy movie star-esque looking girl. So okay, for now I'm going to stop it here, and then the next tutorial we're going to start with enhancing the eyes and changing the color of the eyes. Okay, so that's it for now.